On this episode of Star Trek Universe, we're jumping ahead 3 months just to jump back 58 years. We're talking Wedding Bell Blues right after these words from Godlings Throwing Temper Tantrums.
Welcome to Star Trek Universe, the podcast where two lifelong friends sit and chat about Star Trek. My name is Matthew Carroll.
I'm David C. Robertson.
What's up, Dave?
Hey, man.
Let's just jump right in because we watched and recorded both these episodes this morning, so we've been at this few hours. What did you think of Wedding Bell Blues?
Okay, so let me say this. I am a fan. Yes, please service me. But in the course of servicing me, I would very much rather you not service me if servicing me means diminishing something that happened 58 years ago and making it make less sense than it did somehow back then.
Okay, well, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what this is all a reference to, so you're going to help me out. Yeah, I mean, help me out.
So Rhys Darby is totally playing Trelane from Squire of Gothos.
Oh, okay.
It has the same ending.
I recognized I recognized his look a little bit, right? Did he look like him?
Oh, yeah. To us, he looked like him. Like in the story, and that's, I guess, how they're fixing the canon issue of like Spock not knowing who the fuck he is.
He looked like Spock. He looked like a Vulcan.
Spock. Yeah. Or an Andorian wedding planner, but...
Right. But to us, he looks like Trelane.
Well, sort of,
I'd have to go back and rewatch that episode. I don't remember that episode, but this is how that ended as well. An adult god came and took away their child, which this adult god was played by John Delancey, right?
Yeah, and it has been
speculated,
theorized, that, and in some extended universe stuff by Peter David, etc., that Trelane was a baby Q. But, the Squire of Gothos in the first place is not a great episode. Like, it's iconic, and he's a lot of fun. But it's odd, because he needs technology to augment his powers, which I guess could be a thing because he's a kid. He's a young Q.
Okay.
But in this episode, they did a similar thing where it's like, he uses a drink, it seems like, to kickstart it for Spock, and then they drop it completely.
Okay.
It felt like they insinuated that he needed that drink.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know what that was about, but...
It seemed to me like almost like a trickster god type thing, like, have this drink, it is the decision to take, to make the wish or something.
Yeah.
I agree.
It's weird.
But then in the end, like, he was able to do whatever he wanted, so it really just felt like that was all just him playing around. He was just in control of these people, but not fully. And I guess that, again, if he's a Q, if that is the Q that we know, and that is connecting back to that in the original series, then his powers might not be. That might be why they were able to break free of his powers with a emotional event or whatever. I don't know.
So I of course went straight online as soon as I watched it, and I was like, I gotta know what people are saying about this thing. And yeah, people seem to be as divided as I feel about it. Like, someone had a theory that's kind of fun that, like, the punishment he's being taken for after this event, or possibly the event in Squire of Gothos, is Q literally just taking Q Jr. to be taught to behave by Aunt Kathy and Voyager.
Oh, yeah. That's fun.
But, I mean, especially since someone pointed out that that Icheb was talking about Kirk and the original Enterprise, and Q Jr. basically knew all about it. And he was just like, oh, yeah, I've seen that.
That's fun. That's real fun. Yeah, I was wondering if this was Q's child, if this was the same child from Voyager, which I guess it wouldn't have to be. It's possible, but he's 4,000 years old, but what does that mean if you live outside of time and you're bouncing around or whatever?
I thought you said he was like 8,020 or something like that. But
yeah, he did. He said 8,000, and then Trelane said 8,020.
Yeah. I think it's interesting. Like, I want to go back and look at that Q2 episode to see what they say, if they give him an age or something. Mm-hmm. Because I did go back and double check on Squire of Gothos, and they didn't mention an age when they took him away.
Gotcha.
So, but it's almost the same where he's just like, come along now, Trelane. He's like, no, I was winning. You saw. So it's fun. I just, there's a part of it's like, God, how does it make sense? Like, either Trelane knows Spock and isn't bringing it up. He was very not into Spock, though, in Squire of Gothos.
Well, that might be, like, the thing. He foiled his plan last time, Maybe he's showing up. I mean, obviously this is all, like, making it make sense, but, yeah.
I was very interested when he said the reason he started doing this was because Corby and Nurse Chapel were digging around the old home world.
Right, yeah. I think he just said Corby was, right? But he says Corby was digging in the old home world, and he just seemed to be basically pompous or whatever. And he's like, I wanted to bring him down a peg, and that was very funny. Spock
Which is
being like,
why Trelane didn't like Spock in the original show.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I dig it. I dig it. I thought it was fun. It's a fun episode. I don't really remember that episode of the original series. I'll have to go back and rewatch it. But yeah, this was fun. That's that actor who's playing Trelane in this is what's his name?
Rhys Darby.
Rhys Darby. Yeah. I like him a lot, and so seeing him in this role was a lot of fun.
I'm not saying he did a bad job or anything. There's a part of me that feels aggravated when it feels lazy in some ways when they try to go back and like pull up an old character and it kind of makes the original version feel less special. And part of me never really loved the idea that Trelane was a Q, but with this episode, it's kind of just like, okay, well, I guess we can. I mean, it's not set in stone, but John Delancey being the father is kind of like, okay.
Yeah. Well, it could just be. I agree that it's definitely implying that he's a Q for sure.
Mm-hmm. And numerous outlets called him, Rhys Darby as playing Trelane or Q Junior. So I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, weird for sure.
Like IMDb and shit, like not just like articles.
Yeah.
I also think it's a very, very strange choice, and I knew they were going to do this because I read an article about it, but the choice to leave Corby with an accent, I guess the actor's actual accent, because he doesn't have an accent in What Are Little Girls Made Of in the original series.
I don't really remember Roger Corby either, so I know he's in the original series.
Yeah.
And they're married, is that correct?
No, they were engaged, and then he went off to do something and he disappeared. And
that's right.
She always held out hope that he was alive somewhere.
That's right. I remember that now.
It's stated in that episode that's why she's on the Enterprise, by the way. In that original series episode. It's like she was hoping she would find him one day.
Oh, interesting. Well, that may still be the case. Maybe she decides to stay for that reason at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's a fun episode. Like, not a lot of meat on the bones, I think. It's fun.
I don't know. Like,
I have a ton to say.
If you're really into the Spock Chapel thing, if you're like, I don't know, one of those fans. I liked the idea of the unrequited nature of it, or,
I did too.
In the original series, when it was clear she really liked Spock, and Spock was really into her, but he couldn't bring himself to do that, et cetera, et cetera. Like, that was interesting. It's gone on a bit much in Strange New Worlds for me, though.
Huh. Yeah, I've liked it so far, and I really liked in this. I like the idea that in that moment, he's giving her that speech to remind her of her love for Corby, but saying all these things that are also genuine to how he feels, and he just couldn't express them and wasn't ready for this relationship, I think, and he's realizing that. And I liked all of that a lot, and I liked that what Leon said, which was like, you gave her your love the best you could, and that's what's important. Like, you did the thing. You loved her, even if it wasn't requited.
Yeah. There are parts of it that I really enjoyed, and as far as like the character development and wondering like how this will all resolve. Like, see, like part of my fun, I think, it's just so weird to me, like watching this show. Because, like, part of what I think would be fun about running a prequel series is making it all work. And, finding actors who acted like and sounded like and looked like the original guys. And, you know what I mean? Like, really just, like, making the old stuff seem new.
Sure. I just think, that's clearly not what they're interested in doing with this show.
I know. It's just so odd to me. Like, because they keep saying that, like, they're going to get back to, like, where we are in the original series. Like, the producers keep talking about, like, oh, yeah, we just have to make sure we get back to where we were with all the characters at the start of the original series. And I'm just like, how? Like, there will be people who have to lose their memory. There will be people who, like, have to have complete like character shifts at this point. Like, what y'all doing? Like, I don't know. There's an excitement for me in it a little bit, but also just like that's like the biggest. Like, you talk about like oh, there are no stakes, and I don't feel like there are many stakes in this prequel, but also I sit there and go like, that was my biggest stake is like, how are they gonna pull this back to where it was?
I think if you're really waiting on that, you're probably waiting in. You've got false hope there. I don't think they're going to make this line up any way, like the way you're talking about. Like everyone not knowing everything, every line making sense. I think they just generally want to make the characters feel like the characters by the end. It's a very just sort of get it in the ballpark of the character, I think is what they're really going for. Like, accents don't matter, looks don't matter. They're building their own universe that is guiding these characters to be like where they make sense spiritually with the characters we have. But I get it. It's a hard thing. Like, I think making a movie where you're making a prequel is a little easier, where it's like, we have this 2-hour self-contained thing and we want it to line up perfectly with this other thing. When we make a series, it's a prequel. It's just, series evolve, they change concepts, they may have a guiding principle that changes over time because of the fan reaction and the way different actors have chemistry and the way that different things happen. And it's like, you just don't know. You just don't know when you're starting one 10 years from you don't know if every actor is going to stick around. Like, you just have to go with the flow as you can and be flexible while having some principles. And so I think it's just not feasible to be like, I'm going to make a show that is exactly like the original series and it's going to lead exactly and everyone's going to look the same. It's just it's a different kind of concept, which I get why they're not trying to make that now for a variety of reasons. But I understand your impulse to see that. I've never cared too much about the accents or the looks or any of that. I do care about like changing events. That does bother me, but like, the accents and character and looks of characters doesn't bother me at all.
Well, I mean, I would be lying if I said it didn't bother me. I'm not going to say that I have any kind of false hope. Like, I'm just damned curious what they think is going to be acceptable, I guess. Like, and for a lot of people it will be, because a lot of people just don't care, like you.
Sure. Don't care about certain things. Like, I care. It bothers me when they say things that don't make sense. Like, even if I'm not a big fan of that episode and I don't know that episode very well, it still bothers me that 2 episodes exist where characters say totally opposite things that can't be resolved. That really bothers me. But just things like, certain things don't bother me as much as they bother you. We've had this discussion since we've been having this podcast. You know, like this is the same discussion we had way back when we were talking about the ships and the redesigned Enterprise and stuff.
Oh yeah. It's, I mean, the whole show. This whole show is like runs against the grain of Amok Time, where Uhura and Nurse Chapel are both shocked that Spock is married. Right. Sure. Like, to
yeah, exactly.
So, like, I mean, I know it's it's odd. It's something like what I was talking about the last episode, where it's like, in one vein, you're like, yes, I know this is not going to line up with the original series, and they've actively stated that's not the canon anymore. But at the same time, the producers keep talking about lining it up with canon and like, well, we're just body checking the canon a little bit. We're gonna do that. We're gonna do the canon, and I'm like, you're not though.
That annoys me. It's just that's the producers trying to keep both sides of the fandom happy, and what you're doing is not making either side happy. And I get it. Like if I'm a fan of the old canon and you tell me, hey, we're starting a new Star Trek, it's completely new, doesn't match the old canon, I wouldn't be as interested, like if you tell me you're rebooting the original series, like, and just starting over, I'm just not that interested in that. I want to see it move forward.
I'm watching these like Star Wars fans, complain about their Disney shows and they're ruining Star Wars. Like, no, y'all don't know how good you have it.
Yeah, it's true.
Y'all are they're like doing deep fakes. They're keeping the technology looking the same. They're keeping, oh my God, just. Y'all don't know that Doctor Who as well. Like, oh, y'all got it so good.
Mm-hmm.
Which I'm a Doctor Who fan, so I guess we got it good. But
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I do kind of wish they would do that with Star Trek, but I don't know. This was an okay episode.
Yeah,
it wasn't.
It's fine,
brilliant or anything. What do you think about Lon and the thing from the Dark Crystal behind her? I know it's a Gorn. I know it's supposed to be a Gorn, but it looks like those creatures from the Dark Crystal.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, wait, Lon did that? I thought that was... Yeah, that was...
No, Ortega.
Ortega. Yeah, no. I was like, wait. Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, it gives her something else. I was wondering how you would feel about it, because I felt fine about it. I don't know that I'm terribly interested yet, but it does give her character something else to go through other than just be the I fly the ship girl and the sort of quippy nature of herself. Like maybe she has a little bit of darkness going now.
Yeah, I was afraid that they were going to go straight from that to now she's just going to be angry that her brother is dating her friend.
Right. Yeah, that was just a playful thing they did this episode, which they teased that the brother might be getting hired to do a full-time documentary, which I'm sure he'll be stationed on the Enterprise for sure, and we'll get to see more of him this season. Which that all was fine for me. I mean, this episode started, it seemed like that was going to be a good B plot, which I guess it was, kinda, but it really wasn't. No. It just like introduced those characters and then dropped them for the wedding, And you see them at the end, but you don't really get any kind of arc for those characters.
Just too much going on in the episode, man.
Oh, I don't know about that. This one, I do not agree. This one, if anything, too little goes on in this episode. It's really like, hey, there's a wedding. Two guys try to stop it, and then finally Spock has to do an impassioned speech, and that's the end. Like, it really is not... it could have been. Like, this seemed like it was going to be traditional A-plot, B-plot thing, and then it started A-plot, B-plot, then just dropped it. So it was really just this single, very simple thing, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree with you, but what I mean when I say too much going on, and I don't know if you noticed this, but they basically they set up the brother and... Uhura, and then as soon as reality is shifted by Trelane, they don't go back to them until reality is shifted back and Trelane is gone, and then they come in again.
Right.
Because they didn't want anyone going, well, that didn't really happen between the brother and Uhura.
There is a moment where they're like dancing or talking at the wedding or something like that. Maybe that was after the shift.
It was
back.
after.
Yeah, exactly. They just do not. That plot has just dropped. I mean, they've been introduced now, and I'm sure it will continue. That he's going to be making a documentary, and so it'll continue. And then we have this new bartender. I guess this is interesting because it seems like they finished Hegemony Part 2, and this felt more like the pilot for the season 3 or whatever. Where they're going to be like adding a couple new crew members. We've got the new nurse. We've got the new bartender. And the new cameraman.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm like, if you guys are looking to save money, Paramount, probably don't introduce a
No, man, I loved it. This is like Disco every season, removed every character with any kind of like prosthetics, and then introduced humans to replace them. This like, hey, yeah, give me a bartender with 4 arms. That's cool. Like, give me something neat to have in the background, if nothing else.
I think it's funny that they set up this idea that Scotty doesn't drink.
Yeah,
and then at the end he gets a drink.
Oh, he does.
Yeah, he absolutely gets a drink with that bartender. Like, they order a couple of drinks.
I was wondering about that because I don't remember his relationship to alcohol in the original series. Did he have any kind of like run with like either not drinking or drinking too much?
Oh, he's a drinker.
Okay. Well, I wonder if that's what this was supposed to be. Like, he's not a drinker, and then he's having his first little sip there, and then we're gonna go on to that. That's kind of fun.
Yeah. There's a whole bit in, he gets drunk at that one place in Wolf in the Fold, and, they think he murders that woman. And then, there's, by any other name, I think it was the episode where he gets drunk. He distracts an alien by getting them drunk. And he's like, they're just drinking it up, and he's like, the alien is like, what is this? And Scotty's looking at it, he's like, it's green.
I remember that.
And then they redid that on Next Generation when Scotty gets pulled out of that transporter buffer.
Maybe that's what I'm remembering.
And that was a call back to the original series where Data's got the Andorian whatever it was. I don't remember what it was called. But Picard knew what it was.
Neat. All right. Well, good episode. Not a great episode. Not as I said from the beginning, not a lot of meat on the bones, but like fine. And it was cool to hear John Delancey's voice and to maybe expand the Q, give some confirmation to some of those Q theories. At least give them another red string to put on their board.
Yeah, there was a nice moment with Pike and Patel at the beginning. Seemed to
there was
reference him maybe moving in with her at some point, or it kind of seemed like a joke.
I was wondering if they really go all in with that like love plot with them. I'm wondering what'll happen after he's injured. Like if he ends up in the chair at the end of this series, like will he still be with her, and will she be taking care of him kind of or whatever? I'm wondering how that
No, they're
works.
doomed.
You think they're doomed?
Well, if you go by the original series, which I know we can't completely, but
no, definitely not.
The original series, the menagerie, Spock kidnaps Pike and takes him back to Talos so he can live with Vina and believe that or feel like he's whole.
You're right. That's right. Forgot about that. Yep. Yeah, that would be very undermining of that thinking that I was doing.
It's a slippery slope, man.
Yeah, man. You can't. It's hard. I don't know. It's hard to predict anything because I don't know enough about the original series. I don't have a good enough memory for it all to remember everything that it should be connecting to. And then even if I did, there's no likelihood that we'll connect to this. I'm like, all right, but that feels like a pretty foundational thing they wouldn't change, unless they change it all. Unless he avoids the accident, which is a whole different thing.
If we're still alive in 10 years, I don't even think we'll be talking about this canon. That's my personal thought.
Yeah.
Now, maybe that's because Star Trek's going to die.
Maybe.
Because Paramount is not doing well.
I think that it is true we may not be talking about this canon, but part of that is I don't know. They're doing so much referencing of the old stuff, and it's the prequel problem, man. They're doing so much referencing of the old stuff, and you're gonna. I was thinking we were wrapping up, but I'm gonna get on a tear about the canon, but like and prequels.
Tear.
You get in this place where you're trying to fit everything into the canon. So you're like, oh, let's explore the Gorn a bunch. Let's do a bunch more with these characters that are already established and already are pretty fully fleshed out. And you're adding nothing new. I mean, I think the Gorn battle, for better or worse, added a lot to the Gorn. The Gorn could come back as this xenomorph, putting babies in people's backs or whatever. Like that's pretty gross. And like that could come back next season, or like next season of like whatever in the 24th century or whatever. But yeah, man, I feel like they're not doing enough to add to the canon, and even especially episodes like this where it's literally just a redo of an original series episode. It's not even adding to the sort of like philosophical standards of. And now, there are certain episodes like was it Fog of War? Is that the name of that episode that I'm thinking of? With
Under the Cloak of War.
Yeah, I think I called it Fog of War last time too. And I defended my take then too. Very same thing.
You just never remember the name of it.
No, I don't remember anything. Under the Cloak of War, like I will remember that episode forever, and like the ethics discussion of it, and like whenever they do something on Star Trek, I will think back to that episode and how it just like I think of when I think of that episode, I think back to Cisco, in the Pale Moonlight. Like I think it's this, it's the through line of like what happens when a valiant Federation character does a very illegal thing that he thinks is right. You know what I mean? Like that's a cool, like those will always be spiritually connected, and I will always remember them both. But certain episodes they're doing here just feel like so cookie cutter, like the old stuff, or so, delving into mining the same material that I'm just like, I need to take us to new places. And that's what Star Trek's supposed to do. And that's why I think that's the bigger problem with the prequel problem. We have tons of problems, and we've been discussing the problem of keeping canon with a prequel because it either removes all the stakes or you have to break canon. Like that's just the only two options. And, or maybe not stakes. You either remove stakes or creativity. You remove the possibility for stakes and creativity by making a prequel. And that's a bummer. But the bigger bummer for me is the fact that we're just like digging down on the same people and characters and concepts, and I want to see us moving forward.
Yeah. Yep.
So anyway, well, that's about all I got to say about this episode. I didn't hate it. I really didn't. I enjoyed Rhys Darby a lot as this Trelane character. Like I liked him snapping and just doing his thing, and I definitely thought Q immediately. I thought there's supposed to be a Q, they just won't know it's a Q, and then we, of course, it ends like it ends.
Yeah, he's I've seen some people saying like, oh, they never said his name was Trelane, so it might not be him.
Sure.
Well, there was nothing about that species that was tying them to that sort of look that he had. Trelane was obsessed with that look in The Squire of Gothos. And I mean, he said the salutations, the felicitations, or whatever. He said tally ho, just like Trelane. He was Trelane, y'all.
Okay.
Come on.
Yeah.
Like, he was just Trelane.
I gotta go back and rewatch that episode now. All right. Well, anything else, bud?
No, I just hope it gets better from here. I didn't hate this episode, but it was also just like it was such a shitburger of an episode. It was such a what are we doing here? Why are we doing this? It's Strange New Worlds, not old ass ground.
Yeah, that's a fair critique. This is supposed to be Strange New Worlds. This is supposed to be our chance to add new interesting things. Even though it's a prequel, we're supposed to be visiting new places, doing new things, and I don't think that's what's happening yet. The Gorn, there's some bricks added to the canon in there that we can expound on 200 years in the future.
Yeah. Well, it's more like they went next to the brick wall and they, built something out of God, I can't even think of.
You're really trying to overmine this metaphor, I feel like.
Yeah. Anyway, they built a completely different kind of wall and said that's also the fucking Gorn.
Yeah, for sure.
And whatever I'm thinking of, my brain's not braining right now. I'm sorry, y'all.
It's okay.
I'm not a smart man in the first place.
We expect very little from you, Dave, and when you give us a little less, that's all right too.
Yeah. What's that guy that was on all the Ricky Gervais stuff that they made fun of all the time, relentlessly?
Oh, Plinkett? No, that's not.
No.
Oh, gosh, what is that guy? An Idiot Abroad is.
Yeah.
His.
Well, I'm the idiot who never goes anywhere.
Yep, that indeed. Carl Pilkington.
Pilkington.
Yeah. I was close. Samsonite.
I'm that, but for this.
Yeah, I love it.
Thanks for
whatever,
agreeing,
man. No, I was gonna say, like, I am too, just for different stuff. I am too for like stuff that's probably more important to be making a Star Trek podcast, like remembering what happened in older Star Trek. And like if I know something's coming, a lot of times I'll rewatch it on that older episode before we watch something. But I didn't know this was coming, so like I was like, that seems like a reference, but I don't know what it's a reference to right now.
Yeah,
vaguely familiar.
That's another problem, by the way, that even though you don't know what the hell they're talking about, you're watching it and you're going, this feels like a reference. I just don't know what to. Like, they should be making episodes that stand on their own and don't feel like they're being like, hey, guess what? You're missing something.
You shouldn't, when you make a reference, it shouldn't feel to new people like, hey, look at the reference you don't get. It should feel to people who know it like, oh, I got what you get. I got what you're doing there.
Yeah.
Which, to be honest, like, it felt like a reference for a couple of reasons. It felt like a reference because the style that he's invoking seemed like original series style and like mannerisms and stuff. Oh, I did want to call out one scene I really liked, and that is there's a scene between Corby and Spock where they're working together, and I just really liked all the Corby and Spock stuff, like them working together to sort of solve the problem was good. And there's a line, I wish I'd written it down because I didn't. And it was something like, if one of our intelligences, the degree of one of our intelligences was to break through this illusion, I assure you it would not be yours. I'm not saying it fully how he said it, but it was a really good line. And they both raised their eyebrows at each other, and I was like, this was good. These two guys are good.
I liked it up until the point where Corby raised his eyebrow, and then I went, ugh.
Oh, I liked it.
Yeah, I liked the line, and then I didn't like that they both had to raise their eyebrows at each other. That was stupid to me.
Why? People raise their eyebrows.
It was just the only person thing. It was like when you have like a character say something off the cuff, and then they look at the dog, and the dog goes, "Arr!" Like, I hate that shit. I hate it. Like, it's such a cutesy bullshit thing to do. They did it in the original series too, and I hated it there. Like, I hate it across all media. Like, let's nudge the audience. Spock's thing is raising the eyebrow. That's how close Corby is to being Spock.
Well, yeah, that's what I liked about it. It makes sense to me from like he's got a few mannerisms similar, which is like maybe why Chapel likes them both. You know, There's a little bit of Spock in him. But no, I liked that moment a lot.
The great irony is that Corby himself winds up disappearing, and then when she finds him, he's a fucking android because the original Corby dies. And they basically make a Corby android.
I'm trying to see, like, I recognized Corby. Do you know what I recognize him from?
I don't.
I'm looking at his IMDb, and he's in Daredevil Born Again. Devlin. Who was Devlin? It was in this recent season. Devlin.
I see that.
Yeah. Okay. That must be what I'm recognizing him from. I was trying to scan back in his IMDb to see. I don't think I've seen anything else, but obviously I've seen Daredevil Born Again, and Devlin I'm just not placing. I think he might be one of the police officers, maybe. There was the corrupt police force under Fisk.
Sure.
All right, man. We'll be back with you guys very soon. Joel on True.
Live long and prosper.
Thank you for listening to the Star Trek Universe Podcast, a Stranded Panda production. If you'd like to hear more from David C. Robertson, check out the DC On Screen podcast or maladjusted.tv for his web videos. If you'd like to hear more from Matthew Carroll, check out the Marvel Cinematic Universe podcast or listen to his music. Just search for Matthew Carroll anywhere you get music.